Today I'm going to show you how to make FU money with dropshipping. As you can see, here's the numbers from the first store over the past year, and here's the numbers from the second store of mine over the last year too, just to show you some revenue numbers and proof. Now, before I tell you how to do that, let me tell you what we're not going to be doing first. So we're not going to be looking for some kind of untested or unsaturated product, right? Because that's going to take us hours and hours of research. And obviously using that strategy does work, but we want to be able to turn any kind of product which has already been established into a winner, because we can recreate the same success, okay? But we won't be completely copy and pasting, right? Control C is copy, Control V is paste. So we're not just completely copy and pasting someone either. This does require some knowledge and some wits about us, right? We're going to put a little bit more thought than that into it. And what we won't be doing as well is we won't be making a cookie cutter one product store, because when we have a one product store, this also creates a lot of friction for us, because we're building this whole store around one product, and every time the product doesn't work, we have to quickly change the homepage, change the funnel. In some cases, if you're not using a generic brand name, change the whole branding and business name of the website. Some people even change the domain just to test one product and then keep moving. It just adds so much time to do that. So we're not going to be doing a one product store, but instead of these things, what we are going to be doing is we're going to optimize our conversion rate. So conversion rate is CVR. So conversion rate is basically higher conversion rate, the more people are being obviously converted into sales on your website. So let's say you have 1,000 impressions, right? 1,000 people come onto your website. If you have a 1% conversion rate of 1,000 visitors, that's going to be 10 sales. But if you have a 10% conversion rate, there's going to be 100 sales. So the higher conversion rate you have, the more sales you're going to get. So this is something which you really need to focus on. Now, the industry average, a good average, is usually about 1 to 2%. Okay, so if you've got a decent funnel, you're talking about 1 to 2% is a pretty good ballpark figure to aim towards. Okay, but I've had at certain points from 2 even up to nearly 5%, okay, at my very peak. But obviously, as you add more products, as you kind of scale up and stuff, this gets a little bit more diluted. But at low scale, you can definitely have figures like this. And if you have a brand with repeat customers, you can very easily have a high conversion rate. So that's what we want to focus on. And we want to look for a product. So this is our product, right, in the circle. Product we want to find, our product. We want to look for a product which has already been validated. So the product has been validated. Excuse my terrible drawing. We want to be validating our products. So we want the products to be validated. They're already getting sales in the market, and maybe they're getting a lot of views or impressions or whatever other KPIs, key performance indicators, we're looking at to see if that product is validated. We can easily see a product is probably making sales if it has a lot of impressions, if it has a lot of engagement on social media, and if it's been running for a certain period of time, because they're probably going to kill the campaigns for advertising if it's not profitable. So we want to validate our product. It doesn't matter if it's old. And with that, let's talk about this phrase here. So the phrase known as saturated. So a lot of people saying, oh, it's too saturated. There's no space in the market. Too many people are selling it. This is impossible. I have a different view on this, because when I first started doing YouTube, people said it's too saturated, too many YouTubers, too many people you're competing against. You're not going to succeed on YouTube. I've now had 2 channels that have done very well on YouTube. In fact, I've basically kind of given up on the first channel because this channel was doing well and my dropshipping was worth way more money than that, right? But over time, I've had 2 channels that have done well on YouTube, and both of those niches were heavily saturated. The winning products I had were in very saturated niches as well. So this term saturated, in my opinion, doesn't really mean anything, okay? It might make it harder, but for the smarter people, it doesn't matter if it's saturated. It just means you're playing at a higher level. Let's talk about saturated. I think it is a cop-out word to use so people don't have to try anything, in my opinion. And you can make any so-called saturated product actually work with the right know-how, knowledge, and steps. But it can be more challenging, okay? For beginners, it's easier to stay away from so-called saturated products because they are hard to obviously market. But if you're good at marketing, it's definitely possible. And I will talk about some of the steps we can do to obviously make those saturated products a little bit more marketable. And to think of how to sell a saturated product, well, to sell something that's saturated, you need to think of a way to sell it that's unsaturated, right? So if we want to approach things like that, To sell a saturated product, we need an unsaturated angle per se. So, for example, let's say you're selling a portable blender. Okay, this is a product I've sold in the past. It's no secret. Some of you guys have seen it in challenges. I've tried to sell a portable blender. This was a popular product at one point. BlendJet was a huge big brand that sold these portable blenders. So let's say I wanted to sell a portable blender. Well, we could tap into, first of all, people who want to use it to achieve their fitness goals. Another angle is that it's a portable kitchen that people can take around and enjoy fresh drinks anywhere that they go, or even when traveling, right? Or by using this portable blender, maybe they can ditch using disposable cups, which is taking a more eco-friendly, environmental, recycling kind of angle. You get the idea. Be creative. There's so many different ways we can play from this, okay? We're appealing to different demographics, different niches of people. And this is how we tap into different markets and different target audiences that may not be so-called saturated, okay? Especially if there's big competitors. Now, most people will try to sell the same product with the same angle because people are going from that copy and paste approach, which certainly does work if people haven't jumped on the bandwagon already. But if that one doesn't work for you, that angle you're trying to use, but the product is clearly a winner, then you can try a different angle before you kill the test, okay? Try and go at different angles and also play with the offers too, because different angles may require different offers. There's a lot of things that factor into it. So right now we're on a website. This is going to be an example product page I want to show you. This is for the brand called Bleame, okay? The reason I'm showing Bleame is you've probably seen it on a lot of other YouTube videos. If you are in the dropshipping space or e-com space, it's a well-known established brand. A lot of you guys who may be bigger in the space might know the people that own Bleame. We're going to be talking about this product. Bleame is basically a brand that's based around beauty and skincare as the primary niche, and the flagship product is this easy, painless hair removal crystal hair eraser product. So let's basically analyze their angles and the benefits of their product. It's perfect to use for the bikini area and full body hair removal, and the angles they're using is easy and painless hair removal, hair-free skin. So people who obviously want that kind of glamorous Hollywood look, but mainly for people who want an easy and painless hair removal. So this taps into basically easy. People want something easy, so it removes the friction, makes their life easier. And hair-free and painless hair removal is obviously going to tap into people who usually go to the salon or go for a waxing appointment, and those waxing procedures, as you'll know if you've had them, are very painful, right? So those are the angles which Bleame are using. Now the thing about Bleame is they've used many different angles for the marketing, and I think that's why they managed to scale so much, but these are their main winning angles. Now if you want to learn more about Bleame, I did do a full case study on the entire brand. I broke down the website, the funnel, the offer, how they actually increased the conversion rate and made a high converting store, and how they incentivized people with email marketing. I did a full breakdown. It's in my community equity hub, which will be linked down below. If you are interested in building a brand, that might be very invaluable to you. So do check that link out. And I showed how they actually scaled to $30 to $50 million of revenue, I believe actually annually as well. So if you are interested, do check that out. But we're all covering Bleame again today. What I do want to click on is the main product page. Now you can see they are selling this. It says $49, but that's kind of like a technique they've used. They've actually pre-selected the 2-pack. So when you first go on the page, they've selected the 2-pack bundle to try and get people to purchase that more. But if you do click on one, you'll see it's $29. Okay, so for English viewers, that's £23. But this product's $29. Now let's talk about the markup. If you're in the e-com space, you know that this product is not $29 because most of us have either tried to sell it, or if we haven't tried to sell it, we at least know about it, right? So £1.57 including shipping. If I convert that to USD, we're talking roughly about $2 to actually source this product. It's near enough the same thing. It's nearly as good quality. So $2 to source this product. If I do a little bit of basic maths, if we divide it by 2, that would be 14.5 if we divide their selling price by the cost of goods. So their markup is 14.5 times. Now with dropshipping, we're talking about at least getting a 3 times markup, maybe even a 5x if we can hope to get that. But they're doing a 14, nearly 15x markup on this product, which is crazy. And they're also buying it in bulk, which means they're probably not getting it for $2. They're probably getting it for like $1.50 or $1 because they're buying so many, clearly, because they're scaled, right? So they're going to get some crazy markups that they're selling it at. And this just goes to show how profitable and cheap this is for them. So for $29, they're already getting like 14, 15x minimum on that. Then they're doing bundling and upsells, so they can afford to actually give you something for a bit cheaper. For an example, here, instead of $60 or $58, they're giving it for $49, so they can afford to give you that $11 cut in the offer because they've got such a high markup. So that's what a lot of these brands are doing. These certain niches, which are a little riskier to advertise, they take a lot of skill to actually get them on advertising platforms without getting banned. You're going to have to either use agency accounts, trusted partners. It's hard getting a brand like this in this kind of niche up, but once you do, these niches are the most profitable, right? So I just wanted to show you how crazy their margins are going to be, especially since they're not drop shipping. I believe they are private label, and they are shipping from probably a US warehouse, I would guess, unless they're shipping from China still, but they must buy product to this point because they've scaled so much. I wouldn't understand if they didn't, so I'm guessing they have even better margins. What I want to talk about now is angles. So what angles could we actually sell this product as? So if we want to go for some other angles here, let's say we're trying to sell this crystal hair razor, we could go from eco-friendly angle, for an example. I'm gonna have to zoom in here. Eco-friendly, we could talk about how throwing away disposable razors encourages sustainability. We're creating less waste and it helps the planet. So that's an angle we could use with this hair eraser. We could also go with travel friendly, for an example, and appeal to people who travel. We could say that it's a good addition to a woman's handbag for effortless hair removal anytime, anywhere. So this is another angle. I want to go through so many angles for this one product just to show you how we can sell it in so many different ways. So if you have tested so-called saturated things, think again. We could also go for the sensitive skin angle. For an example, I have sensitive skin to a certain degree as well. There's a lot of people who have this problem. So a lot of people have sensitive skin. We could mention that the product is gentle on the skin. They can say goodbye to those razor burns or chemical rashes without the harmful harm or irritation or kind of redness they may get with waxing. The product is also time saving. Like we said before, we're already saving time on tedious waxing appointments, which probably take a long time to actually do manually, and shaving sessions, which could save people lots of valuable time. So they may buy for that reason. Think of these angles as the emoji benefits you're selling as. They're basically very similar, okay? But we're just using them in our marketing. Self-care is another angle. We can appeal to women who indulge in self-care and maybe who want a new routine. We could go from the cost-effective angle. This product is great for people who can be cheap and frugal, which is most people, right? The product can save them big money on endless razor replacements, extensive and expensive salon trips, and years potentially of costs. There's also skin benefits to our product, which ties in with our sensitive skin niche. So we can promote how exfoliating dead skin cells by using this hair eraser that you rub on your skin can create a smoother and brighter look. So that's going to be also tying in for the self-care as well. So a lot of these angles tie into each other, so you could couple them together. Giftability, this also works great, particularly during the holidays, Christmas, Q4. Appealing to gift givers, using FOMO by just claiming how viral the product is, even if it isn't. I've used that great in certain niches. I've said something's viral when it isn't always viral, and it seems to work. This works good during holidays and sales seasons. You could also, this might be wild, to be honest, this may be a wild take, but this hair eraser, which is from this woman's brand, we could just flip it on its head 180 and actually try and sell it to men. Different colors, change the marketing, don't make it feminine, right? We're gonna have to take it from a different angle. Or we could make it neutral, gender neutral, so we could try and sell it to both. We'd have to be creative with men. It would be harder because it's already got that female gaze on the product, but we could appeal to men. So this brand is a woman's only brand, but what if we made this trendy in some way for men, or get a more masculine looking version of the product, like a different design? We could probably find one that's a little bit more neutral and show how it could be incorporated into a male routine, okay? And that also ties in to certain trends, okay, including TikTok trends, particularly Gen Z. A lot of these trends recently are coming from obviously that demographic, so we could tap into trends which also couples with the male thing we talked about. So we could tap into trends like looks maxing, where people are trying to obviously improve their appearance, and show how this product would be a great addition. And no offense obviously to a lot of guys who are into looks maxing, obviously all of us are to a certain degree. Some of the people who do looks maxing, they kind of go a little bit too far in some circumstances and do certain feminine kind of routines which may appeal this product to them. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So now you can see just how many angles we can create or tap into for just one product, the same product, and market it in a way that's now unique to the competitors or unique to a demographic of people that are potentially untapped. Okay, this is why you see so many people scaling products which you tested and they probably didn't work because they're approaching them from a different angle and it's not as saturated as you think. Now that we have a product and we have an angle, how do we sell the product? So we would go to Facebook ad library, okay? So we want to search for a product here. So we want to select our locale. We probably would want to select either the country you're originally from, all countries. I usually select global, but then when you get countries like India and stuff, there's usually low quality advertisements and spam, no offense. And You could also select United States, but then you tap into one of the big five. But you also select all ads. And here in the search box, you want to type either the product name if you're already researching a brand like I am. So in that case, it would be something specific like Crystal Hair Eraser maybe, or Hair Eraser, which would be similar. You can see there's already products and brands that have tried to sell this. They're actually ripping pictures from Bleame because a lot of people are trying to resell their brand. And you could search this keyword. So we'll just search for Hair Eraser here, and you can see it says active status, active ads behind my camera. So we would click on this filters button here, and on filters, you want to scroll down, change active status to active ads only, and then press apply filter. The reason we want to do this is because we want to see ads that are still active, because if they're not active, they've probably been unprofitable and killed. And we want to try and go back. Now you can see today is the 19th of January, right? But this ad says it was running since the January the 18th. So it's only been on one day, probably less than a day. So we can't tell if this is profitable at all, even this one. So you want to scroll all the way down, and we know that the 19th of January, if we go a week back, that would be the 2nd of January. So we want to scroll all the way back, and we want to find ads that are from 2nd of January and before. Some of these ads, January the 14th, January the 11th. We want to scroll all the way back. Now we see one here from December the 30th. So this is just after Christmas. It's older than a week, and they're selling the exact same product which we've been looking at. Okay, so this usually means that they're profitable or at least break even, because they wouldn't leave their campaign on for longer than a week. Now, if you want to find exactly how I actually do my product research, how I find winning products just like this with these filters and more, and what I'm looking for with a keen eye when I'm actually scraping through all these products during product research, all the filters that I actually use and what specifically you can look out for too, and my other product research methods, click the link down below and check out the school community where I do a complete and full breakdown and strategy on how you can do that too. I'm sharing a lot of private stuff in there. Don't want to do too much of a plug, but you get the idea. Do check that out if you want to level up your product research game. Now you can see some of these ads are different, right? Because if I scroll up, some of them are from completely entirely different products altogether, but that doesn't matter because you can get an inspiration of what kind of advertising that they're actually doing. Some also might be image ads. This one, which has been running for a long time, which is likely profitable, is an attractive looking image ad. Don't be sleeping on image ads, because some of my highest converting ads with the highest CTR were actually image ads for the niche that I had my winning products in. Okay, so it doesn't always need to be videos. If it's a winner, you can usually scale them with either or. So some of them might be videos, some of them might be pictures. Picture ads are also less temperamental, less likely to get rejected, a lot easier to follow the rules. Also, you can see I have a download button here. I probably couldn't tell you what plugin that is because I have so many on Google Chrome, but you can get plugins to actually download ads directly from the ad library, and they'll download them directly as MP4s to your computer, and you can use them yourself. I would advise editing these ads a little bit though, because you may get taken down by a competitor if you rip them completely, or they may get rejected. And also generally it's not a good practice to rip things because it's not technically under fair use. So I would say at least edit them a little bit or use them as inspiration to make your own. But some people do rip them. People sometimes rip them just as a proof of concept. So if you want to do a product test, you could rip an ad, download an ad one for one, don't edit it, test it, and then if the product makes some sales or it's profitable, you can then edit your own so you don't run into any issues down the line. I'm not going to recommend that to you. I wouldn't recommend ripping, but I'll just say that people do that and it does work. Okay, and I'd also recommend to write your own ad copy or using ChatGPT to actually rewrite the headlines. So I can see the headline is official crystal hair remover, hair eraser, bestseller, and then the description is official crystal hair remover unveils smooth radiant skin with the official crystal hair remover. I think they've left the description as default. I think that's pulled from their website, but even so, I could copy this headline and then copy the description, plug them into ChatGPT and rewrite them so they're not plagiarized. I would recommend doing that as well. And then if you ever do get a DMCA or competitor trying to take you down, you've not actually taken any of the content, so you can easily win the dispute. So this also lets you check people's ads. So I can also click on see ad details. I can see their ad in full. You can also see this ad has multiple versions. So they've ran the same ad with different colors. I could obviously take these images, maybe edit them a little bit and use them for my own products. That works. Okay, you can click on shop now too. I can then go on the website, check out the funnel. They're using the most basic Shopify theme, but they've been running it for so long that it's clearly profitable. They're selling this for $18, £18. They're selling this for £18. That's $22. That's a little bit less than Bleame's $29. So they're selling it a bit cheaper, which is obviously one of their strengths. But it looks like they're sending you some kind of nice bag, or at least they're making it seem more valuable by showing a box in a bag in the picture. They may not even send that, but if they do, the bag might be $22. They're sending you some extra freebies by the looks of it, possibly, as a minimum, which barely even adds on to the cost of goods because they look like they'll be really cheap to fulfill. So they're making it seem more valuable that way, okay? So we can have a look at the pricing, which is very similar. We can have a look at the funnel, the offer, the website page. And if we go back on Bleame, they also have some things, for an example, to increase the conversion rate. Like I said, in the case study that I do on my community, which is linked down below, I do break down the full funnel, but I'll just quickly mention they have bundling, for an example, over here. So that's going to increase the conversion rate because it's going to give people an offer for buying more. Buy more, save more. That's bulk discounts. There's a lot of things over here. They also have this shipping here. They'll tell you if you order quickly, you'll get it sooner. That might remove some friction from people who are used to things like Amazon. There's a before and after to show its effectiveness. There's a sticky add to cart here. So the add to cart button follows them as they scroll. So there's so many things that obviously they do to improve the conversion rate. Even reviews, image reviews down here. There's even a lot of information about the product in the reviews, and they have that before and after. Okay, so like I say, if you do want a full breakdown of Bleame and the brand and how they achieve this high conversion rate and how they use all these features, the more in-depth entire case study will be linked down below. I even break down the ads, their marketing, the social media channels. It's a full case study in the school community, so do check that out again. Would really recommend it for anyone who's trying to build a brand and understand how these big 7 or 8 figure brands do work in this industry. So we want to use this information to inspire us to increase our average order value. So how do we improve our average order value? Well, I showed you before. We can use things like bulk discounts. So we give them a bigger discount if they buy more than one, like I just showed you. So if they buy 2, we'll give them 20% off. But if they buy 4, we might give them 30% off. You get the idea. If they buy more, they save more. And then also we can find a companion product. So that would be a second winner. And what we would do is we'd connect that to the first winner, which also increases the average order value. With one of my winning products, what I had was I had the main winner here, and then I did a cross sell when I found a second winner in the same niche, which the same customer avatar wanted to buy, and I did that as a cross sell with a second winner, and people would buy the first product, my ad would be profitable, then they buy the second product, so that impression of the customer coming from the ad would be wildly more profitable because they buy 2 products at the same time, sometimes multiple of that same product. And Amazon does this when they have this feature on Amazon, okay? On Amazon, there's a feature where it says customers also bought this, and what this does is it recommends a shelf of products where it recommends the customers to buy because Amazon has data that other people similar to them bought those products too. So that's like an upsell, cross-sell shelf that they have on Amazon. It's a very similar thing. A brand in a niche like beauty can achieve this very easily. For example, you could upsell them a makeup brush with the makeup kit they're buying. You could even add that as a bonus if you want. Or you could suggest they buy a concealer product or something else, basically just to increase their cart value and the money that they pay from that impression. So this makes your ads more profitable because you'll be making more money for that one customer acquisition from the ad. And since advertising is costing quite a lot of money, you are making that more worth your while. This could be the difference between, let's say, $5 in ad spend for a $20 product and that $5 ad spend for the customers actually spending $60 instead of the original $20 because we're doing all of these things to make them spend more. So their cart value is going to be worth way more than if we didn't do that. Okay, so it's going to make a big difference. Now you can do this with plugins. There's a lot of plugins that you can use to transition that store to add suggestions on the product page of other products they might want to buy. You can do this in the cart. So that would be a cart upsell or a post-purchase upsell after they already make the sale. I usually do an upsell or cross-sell recommendation on the actual product page itself so they can add both to the basket. I don't do one on the cart because I want them to go directly to checkout and buy first. I don't want to keep adding steps, which makes the payment process have more friction between it. When they've made a purchase of a product, then I'll recommend it again so they can then go back into the process of buying if they want to, because I want to at least acquire the first sale first, okay? So don't add too many of these in between or you'll make the customer journey a bit slower and sometimes you'll actually lower your conversion rate by trying to increase it. So these are all things that you basically use to transition from a simple dropshipping store to a branded dropshipping store, which is printing a lot more money. Once you find a winner, you can then test these upsells and find other winners within that niche or similar products, fill your store out with them. That's obviously the ideal scenario. Eventually increasing the AOV, the average order value, and then building some real brand equity. Now, not only this, but because you are doing this and you're making more money, you can then spend more money again in turn on ads. And then you can afford from this to scale much higher because you're more profitable, which is how you scale to those crazy figures. This is how people are doing it. This is a very basic example, okay? But another thing you can do, and one thing I did on my stores that made me those 7 figures of revenue last year, was I made sure to capture every email that I could. Using an email opt-in form like this or an email pop-up, you can give some kind of perk as an incentive to the prospect who you want to become the customer to join your email list. So this pop-up's basic. You can even add these with Shopify's core apps now, or you can add it with an app like Klaviyo. Basically, this could just give them like 15% or 10% off their first purchase if they give you their email and sign up to your list and opt in and consent. And then once you capture their email, you can then start to put them on this customer journey, okay, or this funnel, email funnel rather, and you can start to drip feed them, send them offers, send them like emails to warm them up as leads, and then bring them into your email marketing funnel, okay? So another great method to increase the customer lifetime value, the LTV of all your customers, is to capture their emails, because once you have them in your email funnel, you basically got them trapped, right? You're now capturing them as a lead. So from then on, you can just send them offers, you can warm them up, increase their awareness of the brand, and obviously when you have things like sales, you're going to make more money. And this is how you build out one product into a branded store that will be wildly profitable. You're now finding a product that's already proven, but you're running it with an untapped angle. You're adding things like email marketing, you're increasing the conversion rate by using all of these special tools and apps to obviously optimize the product page and funnel. So if I was starting out now from a fresh, brand new, this is exactly how I do it, okay? It's scalable and it can also be wildly profitable. So this is a more simplified breakdown of the strategy which I actually teach in my community, both to beginners and intermediates looking to scale and go to that advanced level to get some crazy figures in ecom, just like mine that you saw at the start of the video when I showed you the figures from my store in the last few months, or my stores. So if you want to get some crazy figures like this year in 2025 and beyond, if you're watching this video later, then I would recommend do click the link in the description. It'll be the first link in the comments and in the description, and you can join the community on School. Right now it's $1. If you're watching this video in time, you may have been able to get that offer. If not, we're increasing it every single month as we add more value. Currently there's one case study showing one of my old winning products. I reveal the product, I show you the funnel, I show you how I found it with the product research method, how I tested it and scaled it on Facebook ads. I showed everything, step A to Z. And there's also another case study showing the entirety of the Bleame brand in there and how they scaled to 8 figures in revenue annually as well. So there's so much value in there. Right now it's $1. It's going up, I believe, to $10 at the end of the month. We've already got nearly 100 members in there, so there's a lot of you guys already benefiting from the community. And this is probably going to go up to like $50 or $100 by the end of the year. So lock in right now, whatever price that you find it as, because there's some serious value and there's a great supportive community to get some real success into 2025. If you haven't followed my journey, the reason I got here is because I joined tons of communities. I ignored all the people saying that these courses were scams, because most of the courses online are, but I joined these good communities and I must have spent hundreds of dollars on these communities. I probably found like 3 or 4 that worked really well for me, and I created my own strategies and methods and I tested everything myself. And now I have my own, which I've just started after 2 years of giving all this knowledge away for free. I've just made a community and a lot of you guys are already benefiting from the information in there. So do check that out. We've been giving away better information than all these gurus for completely free for the last 2 years. But if you want the real big source now, you're gonna have to pay for a seat at the table, boys. So if you want to make some money, click on the link. But don't forget to like and subscribe and check out one of these 2 videos next. And you'll bet that I'll be making some more free value on this channel as well for all you guys who are a little bit unsure. So see you real soon.